Hey guys, and I'm here from the Nagual zone. Let's talk about the machine mind. The machine mind. One of the main differences, perhaps the only difference between a warrior, a well-honed, trained warrior, and the average man is that the warrior can function, can bring to bear upon his existence other resources than the paltry, disjointed resource that we know we exist in, that could be called the machine mind. Now, you'll be wondering, what is this machine mind that he's mentioned so far? Machine mind. The machine mind forces us to think in terms of black and white, zeros and ones. It forces us to think in terms of right and wrong, yes and no. And nothing in the middle makes any sense. It actually doesn't. Literally makes no sense. It just kind of seizes up, because the machine mind, we've got to either know how to do things or we don't know how to do things. Either this is a right and that's a left, up and down, right, left, this, that, this. And the machine mind can only work in a straight line, in a linear fashion, so that you must needs be told things in steps. It's the only way you're going to learn. One step, second step, third step, fourth step. When you step out into nature, everything must be absorbed in terms of the words that are labeled. Because if there are no words, the machine mind gets lost. It feels totally forlorn and lost without its inventory of words. That's how computers work. That's how you can work a website, or you can do a spreadsheet, because those words are broken down into zeros and ones, and then the machine mind can process that. So the predator that runs this world, governs this dimension, world is planet, world, these are all very misleading concepts. Let's just stick with this dimension or this realm. Does not directly get involved with the cattle. They use a very, very amazing, a work of genius. They use AI to govern this realm. It's a very esoteric topic. You can do your own research about it. I'm not going to get into that, because then we get into stories and personal opinions, and it's irrelevant. It makes for interesting conversation, but doesn't really do anything else other than that. So suffice it to say that AI then does its utmost best, because it is an AI. All it can impart to you through the foreign installation is its machine mind. It cannot impart to you anything else. Now here's where it gets interesting. Did you know that you have, apart from the zeros and ones dimension of yourself, which you don't even know that is what's going on, because it is very easy to step out of that and compare. It's not the problem, but it takes someone who has already stepped out to be able to pull you out of that. My apprentice yesterday had a very, very visceral experience of that pull, when every time they had to operate their mind outside of the confines, the demands and subscriptions of the machine mind, they would literally stop. Their mind would go blank, could not think, could not process. There's nothing there to process, because it's been taken out of its machine mind box, zeros and ones, and it's being asked to operate now in a different context, and it literally, like a switch been thrown off, turned off, like a toy soldier, turned off. And I told my apprentice, become a master of noticing this in yourself. That's the only way you will know that you are not in the grip of the machine mind. You are the machine mind. That's all that is available right now to you as an infinite being. What I'm getting at is there are other ways. The way a warrior navigates this realm is by a very well developed body sense. You sense your way through the world. Now immediately, you know what will happen when someone says that, sense your way through the world? You think there's some level of blindness involved. There's no vision. Did you get that vision? Did you get that that image in your head of some kind of blindness? When someone says to you, sense your way through your day, immediately there's a strange image of a blind person. Interesting, huh? I'm trying to poke that machine mind in you to show its head. It won't. It's not easy like this. So why is that? Why is that? In fact, no animal, right down to the bacteria, virus, right up to the biggest, inorganic beings, ultra powerful, they're all operating through their body sense, an organic, natural sense that the 5 senses, or in some cases 7, 8, 9, 10 senses, are parts of that big body sense. And the warrior learns to awaken that body sense in most of you. And I've met many who claim many things. It's okay, claim away. It doesn't really make any difference. But most of you do not have a visceral idea of what a body sense, what that actually means, to navigate your life by sensing. Now, sensing is a 360-degree radar experience. At any given moment in time, you're constantly aware of your entire 360-degree surroundings, right down to minute changes in the temperature, every sound that is able to be heard, wind, breeze, minute flutterings of movements, just like an animal, exactly like an animal, because that's what your body is. Your body is animalistic. What has happened is that the foreign installation, which can only impart to you its machine mind, has forced you from birth, literally, to be indoctrinated in the machine mind. So by the time you're 10 years old, 12 years old, that is literally all you know. Your world, your awareness has been reduced right down to a thin band of zeros and ones. If you don't believe me and you think we all love to pretend we're better than we really are, right? We really do. We really, really do. And if you think you're the exception, everyone likes to think they're the exception. Their miseries are the most exceptional. Their victories are the most exceptional. And my life, we all love to be exceptional. So if you think you are exempt from the machine mind, then I would put my money on the fact that is the machine mind thinking through you. Deep thought, huh? So we're not where we think we are. We are never where we really think we are. So allow yourself to drop down to the base level. Get really honest. Be willing to be brutally honest with where you're at. Okay, don't pretend to be better than, don't be delusional about yourself. Really drop down to the very base. and start building yourself properly from there with correct training, correct perception, correct correct command of your inner of your vibration, and that will awaken the body sense. Once the body sense is fully alive and functional, you will see for yourself how paltry, how poverty-stricken, how limited the machine mind really is. But because the being only knows the machine mind, like the movie The Matrix, it's plugged in, asleep, and they live and die like that. Millions upon millions upon millions of the human beings, right? So if that's all that is known, there's no way, naturally, there's no way to perceive anything else. There's no way to perceive anything else. The problem is very much compounded if you are white and your ancestors have been white and your descendants are going to be white. Because white folks, man, you really got the raw deal on this earth. You really did, because of your ancestors' actions, your ongoing actions. And there's no use saying, oh, but I am different, or I am, Why did I mention that? Because that foreign installation and the Western white genetics, the Western white genetics are especially compatible with the foreign installation. That's why that's why this topic gets brought up nowadays. Thankfully, it's being brought up in a great big way by a lot of people. Those who are aware that my ancestors were Siberian, those who are aware that my ancestors are Japanese, those who are aware that my real genetic vibrations come from such as... Now the argument nowadays is, I went to the white genetics lab. It's all run by white people, and they told me that I'm 50% American Indian, and I'm 50% Don Juan's kid, and 50% I'm Carlos Castaneda's bastard child, and 30% I'm this, and 50% I'm Clark Kent, and 30% I'm Batman, and 30% I'm Spider-Man, and blah, 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 blah. Just nonsense of your machine mind. What I'm trying to awaken in you is a body sense of your ancestry. White people have zero body sense of their ancestry. Nothing. There's nothing there. No history, no culture, no ancestry. What does the white man do to his elders? Shuts them up in something they called hospices, elder care homes. Do you know that this would be so utterly disrespectful in any other culture apart from the white man's culture? Now I'm going on off on a tangent, but it's to prove a point. And the point is that the machine mind is not to be trifled with. So don't underestimate its power within you, especially if you are, if you have white genetics in you, dominant white genetics. And again, this is a very arguable topic. I understand that. And, once this topic comes up, it's very easy to feel trapped, because if I was a Caucasian white Westerner, there's nothing I can do about that, right? No, the warrior's way is different. We then but we've got to look at things as they are. Then we sit down and we start working from there and start extracting our consciousness from the machine mind and start going into a body sense. A body sense. If you're white, expect more work to be done in that area. That's what I'm actually trying to say. For other races, it's not that much of a hard work, because the foreign installation is unable to grab in such deep ways, because there's other shields protecting them. There's a respect for elders. There's a whole tradition, of history, traditions. There's a lot of shields that protect from the onslaught of the machine mind. So this is more out of a caution. So beware. Don't take it lightly, especially if you're white. I'll talk more about this body sense, but I want you to be aware that it is a thing. It is a thing. That is the real radar to steer by in your life. And it will, once developed, once fully honed, you will have no need for your machine mind after that. You will see it for what it truly is, and you will just have no need for it. You will be able to bypass it or put it aside, and simply outgrow it. Simply outgrow it. And it will never be able to manipulate you into limiting your consciousness and awareness in such tragic ways. I hope this makes sense, guys, because a lot of these topics, they're very intangible topics. They're not part of the machine mind, which can codify, quantify, and feel very nicely, happily file away in the correct inventory place. Yep, filed away, I understand. No, we don't understand anything. True understanding needs the body sense to be awake, because that will mean that now we have experienced through life experience. That's the way to gain the understanding. I understand, that's machine mind. I'll leave it here, and if you want me to talk a bit more lucidly about it, and a bit more in a less general way about the machine mind, which should ideally be the concern of everyone alive on this planet right now, absolutely has to be one of the greatest priorities for the warrior, especially the apprentice, then let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to do another video on it, explain it even further. If you have any questions about this, let me know. Share your experience about your own experience with the machine mind. I call it the machine mind. You may call it something else. All right, guys, walk in freedom, and I'll catch you soon.